Okay. So welcome to your practice. We will start this kind of shoulders and upper body, kind of heart support and opening practice on our backs in Shavasana. If you would like to lay over a blanket, a folded or a rolled blanket, you can do so with the shoulder blades on the blanket, and then just the tops, the tippy tops of the shoulder touching the floor just above the blanket there. And then the arms can be at a cactus shape, depending on how much space you have, or out wide. And you can see that I have my knees bent to start, just to kind of notice how my low back is feeling today. If your low back is feeling a bit sensitive, you might stay here with the legs in more of a constructed rest position. If the low back is feeling okay, you can let the legs come out nice and long. All right, so we'll start here, starting to settle in. The eyes can be opened or closed. And allow the breath to be easy as you start to tune in. Take a moment to scan the body from head to toe. Notice any areas that might be feeling tight or dull, not quite awake yet, or any areas that are ready to move. And then with every exhale, allow the back body to sink a little bit more deeply into your cushion or your blanket or into the floor. Just let the belly be soft here. And over time, this is a great posture to be in, any time of day, whether you have something underneath the shoulders or not. To kind of counteract some of that hunching we do, our lives tend to require. So you might start to feel some sensation across the chest, maybe a little bit of opening there, a bit of stretch. Last few breaths here. And then we'll release the arms down. You can bend the knees, place the feet flat to the floor, and roll to one side if you do have a prop underneath you, and move that blanket out of the way. And we'll rest back onto our backs again. And then just take a moment, again, let the arms rest, relax here. Take a moment to notice the after effects of that gentle heart opener. Great. And then let's shift the hips to the left, set them back down, and we'll roll onto our side body with the knees bent. So the arms will come out in front of you. You may not be able to see right at the moment, but the arms will come out in front of you. Let the head rest. And then as you inhale, open that left arm out to the left. So you'll take a twist in the upper body. You can look over that left shoulder. And then unwind, come back onto your side body. Stack the palms on top of each other. Inhale, roll on the back of the head, roll onto the backs of the shoulders, open the heart. And then exhale to come back onto the side body. We'll take one more just like that. So rolling, twisting in the upper body now. Come out of it. And then we'll stay for a couple of breaths. So as you're ready, settle your shoulders back and down again. Let your arms, your hands be heavy. You can look over that left shoulder if you like, if it's good for the neck, and let the legs, the belly be soft. And then use your low belly to bring the knees back up to center. Shift your hips through center and then to the right. And we'll roll over onto the left side here. Again, letting your head rest. You can even place a blanket underneath the head here if that helps. And as you inhale, roll the chest open, reach to that right arm if you have space. And then exhale, come back onto the side body. A couple more just like that. So just rolling, letting that right arm be nice and soft. And coming back onto the side body. One more. Rolling onto the back body here, opening the belly and the heart. And now we come into the stretch, or the posture, I should say, this nice, easy reclined twist. And then again, if you have a small space, the elbows can be bent, that's fine. Maybe look over that right shoulder. Nice, easy breaths here. And then turn your head to center, gather your belly, and come back to laying on the back, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. Arms down by the sides. We'll start to work with the breath a little bit more. As you inhale, press the hips towards the sky. And as you exhale, lower the hips, draw the knees into the chest without using the arms. Inhale, stretch your legs to the sky, reach the arms overhead. And then exhale, lower the feet to the floor and lower the hands and arms down by your sides. We'll take that again. Inhale, lift into bridge pose. Exhale, lower the hips and draw the knees into the chest. Inhale, legs to the sky, arms reach up and over. And then exhale, come back to the start, arms down, feet down. And then keep going with your own breath here. You might speed this up, you might slow it down. Starting to warm up through the core here, but more importantly, to smooth out the breath. So let the breath be nice and smooth. No pauses or jerks here. And then the next time you come into bridge pose, let's stay. So press your feet down. You can start to gather the shoulders underneath you gently. So we're not going into, full Setu Bandhasana. We're just starting out here. So coming up high onto the shoulders if you can. And as you press into the feet, press your knees towards the opposite wall and reach your chest towards your chin as you gently press the head down. And once you feel very steady, can be a very steady posture. Let your eyes settle, let your breath be easy. Nice. And then slowly release, draw the knees into the chest and just hug the knees with the hands, gently rock from side to side. And then from here, we'll come on to one side and come up onto hands and knees. My salt lamp has a mind of its own, so it will come on and off at will today. All right, so as you exhale, start to round the spine. Spread that space between the shoulder blades. And as you inhale, reach the chest forward. So moving into cat-cow, again, at your own pace. So here, focusing more on the upper body action than necessarily rounding through the low back too much. Really focusing on opening through the chest space, broadening there. And then as you round, move the upper back towards the sky. So you may find that the range of motion is a little bit less than if we were focusing more on the lower back. Nice. A few more rounds here. And then we'll come back to center. You might need to walk the knees back a little bit, stack the hips over the knees, and we'll start to walk the hands forward a little bit wider than the shoulders into a puppy pose. So be a little bit more upright to start so we get that support ready. So engage the low belly. And then as you engage the low belly, squeeze the inner thighs, you can start to lower the chest any amount towards the floor. So it doesn't need to be, again, big. We just want to feel a little bit of a stretch in the arm, underneath the arms here, across the heart space, and feel like you can breathe. Nice. And then come back to center, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Inhale, reach that right leg behind you. Feel that it's a little bit lower or in line with the hip here. And then reach that left arm. You can keep the fingertips on the floor for balance, for stability, or if you're challenging your balance, reach that left arm alongside your face, thumb faces the sky. And find your support here. So we're working that right arm, that right leg there, full length of the back. Nice. And then release. Other side. Extend your left leg long. You can keep the leg low or in line with the hip. Press through your left arm and then reach your right arm forward. Again, you might stay on the fingertips here today, or you might lift that right arm alongside the ear. And there may be a little bit less space for breath. You're working through the entire core, the entire torso, but try to keep that breath nice and smooth. Great. And then come back to center, right hand underneath your face. Sweep that left arm out to the side and up. Squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. And then exhale, sweep that left arm underneath you. Look over your right shoulder. Inhale, sweep that left arm out to the side and up. And exhale, slide that arm underneath you. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. This time, inhale, and we'll stay in this open twist. So again, find your base. So legs are nice and strong, low belly is activated, and squeeze the shoulder blades behind you as you reach the arms. Nice, and then release. Left hand underneath the face, sweep that right arm out to the side and up. And then exhale, sweep that right arm underneath you, look over to the left. A couple more just like that. So feel the spine twisting, but also feel that stretch along the back of the shoulders and also that openness on the front of the chest. The next time you come into your open twist, stay. So press the floor away from you as you reach up and engage the shoulder blades on the back. Hopefully you're feeling something in the upper body, a little bit of work here. And then release. Go ahead and walk your hands back to sit back on your shins. If it's more comfortable to sit in a cross-legged position, then that's fine as well. And this is where we'll take our block or our prop, whatever you've got, to give a little bit of weight, a little bit of feedback here, okay? So to begin, and if you just have you don't have anything around you, that's fine too. All right, so to begin, you'll take your prop, whatever you've got, and very simple, we'll just start to move that block behind us into the other hand, and then move the block in front of us. So just circling, okay, sitting up nice and tall. You can make that circle fairly close to the body if you have a little bit more limited range of motion in the shoulders, or you can make the circles a little bit bigger, just going in one direction. And nice and slow here. So really feeling how the upper arm bone is rotating in the socket here around the shoulder girdle. And if you do have a little bit of weight, even that little bit of weight you can start to feel something over time. We'll switch directions here, keeping the circles low to start. So cork blocks are a little bit more heavy. They might challenge a bit more. That foam block is nice and soft if you have one, or again, whatever prop that you've got. And then if you'd like to start to circle up and overhead and then back behind you here. Making sure I don't knock over my tea. That would be a sad, sad day. And keeping it nice and slow. Nice and slow. So you might find, as I did, that my mind wants to speed this motion up. Try to keep it nice and slow. And then switch directions when it makes sense. Switching directions here. So pretty simple movement, which gives us the opportunity to really feel, okay, what's going on in the shoulders today? And then for the last few rounds, kind of free form. So you may decide to do some low circles. You may decide to switch directions. You may decide to come up in one case and then low in the other, so just kind of moving around, getting the arm moving in all directions here. Nice. And then as you're ready, go ahead and release. Put that prop off to the side, shake out your hands, roll out the shoulders here. Bring the tips of your fingers to the tops of the shoulders. Elbows are bent, and start to make some circles through the shoulders here. It's releasing any tension, circling the other directions here. Nice deep breaths. And coming back to center, place your left hand outside of your right knee, back of the hand to the knee. Bring your right hand behind your head. And as you inhale, press into the outer leg there to open the heart. Take a little twist as you lift up through that right elbow. You can look up or out to the side or down. Do what's best for your neck. But a little bit of stretch through the front of the right side of the chest. And then switch. So come back to center, release the hands, right hand outside left knee, press, left hand behind the head, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together to lift you up and take your twist. Nice. Unwind here. Bring the fingertips behind you. And again, you can be cross-legged or on your shins. Fingertips behind you. Inhale, lift the heart, squeeze the elbows behind you. And then exhale, engage the low belly. So inhale to lift the heart, squeeze the elbows behind you. And exhale, engage the low belly. Okay, one more just like that. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, draw the low belly in. You can keep with that, or as you inhale, lift the hips off of the floor, off of the heels, and then exhale to lower, drawing the low belly in. Inhale, lift the heart, maybe lift the hips, and exhale to lower. Let's take one more just like that. Inhale to lift, squeeze the glutes, exhale to lower. Nice. Place the hands on the thighs, take a deep breath in, and a full breath out, soften the shoulders. Beautiful. And then we'll make our way to downward facing dog. So find your hand distance, find your feet here, coming to that upside down V. And you'll be able to see, hopefully, the biceps in your field of vision. We don't want to over rotate in the shoulders here. And start to pedal out the feet. You can sway the hips or shake the head, yes and no. Feeling through your dog today. And tabletop pose is always an option. Coming back to stillness for a moment, press into the base of each finger. And then as you inhale, rock forward to plank pose. Okay, press the floor away. Feel the low belly lift. Inhale, reach the heart forward, heels back. And exhale, draw the low belly in, press the floor away. So it's a static posture, but there's lots of stuff going on inside, right? And then lower the knees, walk the hands forward for puppy pose one more time. Keep the hips over the knees as much as you can as you lower the heart any amount. Use your belly to draw you back up to tabletop pose. Rock the hips and the shoulders forward, draw the elbows in, and we'll lower all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes, press the toenails down, roll the shoulders up, back, and down as you lift the heart here. And take a few breaths here. So exhale, draw the elbows behind you. It's like you want to pull your mat back with your hands, but your hands won't move. And then with each inhale, reach the heart forward. And notice if your chin is kind of jutting out. Tuck your chin so the back of the neck is long. Nice. And then lower gently to the floor. We'll reach the arms out to a T. Okay. My wall is right here. So one arm is a cactus shape. Inhale, lift the upper body, locust pose. Keep the toes on the ground. And exhale to lower. Two more just like that. Reach nice and long and wide. Lift. Exhale to lower. One more. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders behind you, lift. Exhale to lower. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press into the hands to come back to all fours, and we'll make our way to downward facing dog. Look forward, take a walk towards the top of your mat, and we'll forward fold here. So widen the feet as wide as your mat here. Let the knees bend. Let the shoulders be soft. You might even grab opposite elbows and sway from side to side here. Let your head be heavy. Nice. And then release, bend the knees, start to round up the spine. Head comes up last here, coming to standing. We'll walk to the top of our mats here, mountain pose. So our first standing pose here, mountain pose. Find a comfortable distance between the feet so you feel very stable. Equal weight towards the front and the back of the foot, sides of the foot. And then from there, feel the inner thighs, the low belly lift, the heart lift as the shoulders soften. Inhale here and exhale. And we're working in that scapular plane, which we have been. So as we bring the arms out to the side, rather than winging them back and kind of flailing out, see your arms in your peripheral vision, just ahead of the shoulders here. So inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. The hands may touch. And then exhale, forward fold, arms wide, back and down. Lift halfway, strengthen the back body. And then step your right foot back and that knee comes down. The back toes can be tucked or not. And as you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, and exhale, settle into your lunge. And again, notice where your body is today. Notice if you're kind of winging out and kind of letting everything hang out, or can we offer some support around the heart? Okay, engaging the shoulder blades onto the back, lifting the low belly. And then bring your right hand behind your head or to the middle of the back, between the shoulder blades here for a tricep stretch and a side stretch. You can take that left hand to the right elbow and kind of lift up and over to the left here. Press the feet down. Nice, easy breaths. Great. And then come back to center, reach the arms up and overhead. And then place the hands to the floor and slide the hips back into a runner stretch. You can lift the front toes here. Nice, easy breaths. And then come back to your lunge. We'll step back to all fours and then slide that left leg out to the left, foot to the floor. For a gate pose position. Walk your hands back and stand up on that right knee. So the left foot, left leg is way out to the side. Reach the arms out to a T and then side bend to your left. So left hand comes to the left leg as the right arm reaches up and over. And it's natural for that shoulder, that right shoulder to come with you, but can you soften it a little bit? So we're not jamming it down, we're just softening a bit. Coming back to a T, upright with the torso, arms to a T, and then side bend so slowly that you feel your core muscles working to keep you off of the floor for a moment. Side bend, let that right hand hover above the floor. And then maybe reach the right fingertips to the floor and reach the top arm to the sky. So half moon variation. If you'd like to come up off of that left foot into a balance, then feel free. Okay, but more we're focused on that broadness, that space across the chest and also across the back body. So feel lots of support and energy around the heart. And then set your left foot down if it was up. Come on back up using the belly to come back upright. And then your choice, you can put your hands on the floor to come back into a lunge or shift the weight into that right knee and step your left foot forward without using the hands. And now we're back in our lunge, hands to the floor for everybody and back to downward facing dog. Nice. Take a moment here. And then look forward, step, walk, or float towards the top of your mat and forward fold. Think of that scapular plane as you bring the arms wide and up overhead, arms just ahead of the shoulders. And then hands to heart center here. Reach the arms up and overhead. If you can grab opposite forearms above the head. If that's not available to you, just interlace the fingers and bring the arms up fairly straight. But if you can grab opposite forearms, do. Press the floor down, reach the elbows to the sky, and maybe side bend to the right, hips to the left. Breathe here. If you need a little balance challenge, you can lift and hover that left foot a little bit, see what happens. And then come back to center, reach up, switch the cross of your elbows or switch the interlace of the fingers. Press into the floor, lift up and over to the right, hips to the left. Again, if you like a little balance challenge, we're more focused on the upper body, but you're welcome to lift that right foot if it appeals to you. And coming back through center, reach the arms up and let's forward fold, arms wide and down. We'll take the other side with that floor sequence. Inhale, lift the heart halfway and step your left foot back, knee comes down. Okay. Anjaneyasana, press down into the floor to reach the arms up. And let's settle into our lunge for a moment here. So all of this heart opening and heart support comes from having stability in the lower body. Bend your left elbow, hand behind the head or between the shoulder blades. Grab that elbow with the right hand and then lift up and over, side bend to the right. So hopefully feeling a nice stretch from that left elbow all the way down, maybe to the left knee. And coming back through center, reach up. And then we'll take the hands to frame the front foot and send the hips back into our runner's lunge. So the back body's fairly long, front body fairly open. Bend into that front knee again. And we'll come back to all fours for just a moment and then sweep that right foot out to the right, place the foot to the floor and walk your hands back, lift your torso upright. Arms reach to a T. We'll take that gate pose, side bend to your right, right hand to the thigh or to the shin. Nice. And then come back up, arms to a T, and start to tilt towards the left. So we're working the core muscles now, keeping the shoulders and arms broad, and kind of let that left hand hover. So you feel the belly, the low back, the core working, side muscles working. And then when you're ready, place that left hand to the floor, reach the top arm to the sky. Again, balance option to lift that right leg and hover. Half moon variation here. But we're more focused on that broadness, feeling open and supported around the heart. And place your right foot back down, come on back up, nice and slowly, arms to a T. And again, your choice, if it's okay with your left knee and with your balance, you can bring that right foot forward into your lunge without touching the floor. Otherwise, hands to the floor. And then we'll all bring our hands to the floor and we'll step back to downward facing dog. Look forward, bend the knees, take a walk towards the top of your mat and forward folds. Rise to stand, scapular plane, arms reach wide and up overhead, and then hands to heart center. Okay, we'll take that side bend with the optional balance again, sweep the arms up, interlace the fingers or grab opposite elbows just above the head. Let's side bend over to the right. Take that balance option if you wish. Coming back through center, uncross and recross the forearms or the fingers and side bend to your left. Balance option if you wish. Back to center, reach the arms up and arms reach wide and down. Hands to heart center for mountain pose. We've done a lot of movement, a lot of stuff. Go ahead and settle your eyes on one point or close them. And take a moment to notice how it feels to be in your body at this point in your practice. Then we'll continue with that focus on the chest and the heart and adds more balance into it. So first option here, feet a comfortable distance apart. If you need more challenge, you can bring the big toes to touch. We're going to come into chair pose, awkward chair. So lift the heart, shoulder blades on the back, and then exhale, sink back and down into your chair pose. Okay? It doesn't need to be a deep chair. Again, we're more focused on the upper body today. And then when you're ready, reach the arms out to a cactus shape. Palms can face forward or face in. And as you inhale, broaden the shoulder blades on the back. Feel the heart tilt just so slightly towards the sky. And as you exhale, a gentle drawing in around the low belly. Okay? So inhale, just a light tilt of the heart, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, low belly supports the low back. Internal engagement, attention, activation here. Nice. And then from here, take a moment to come to tall mountain pose. Reach the arms up. Hands heart center as you soften the knees again. And we'll take eagle pose or figure four. So there are options. We'll shift our weight into our right foot. Get light on that left foot. So options here to stay right here. Okay, to cross one foot over the other, keeping the left toes on the floor. To cross high on the thighs into eagle pose, bringing the outer calves together. If that's not comfortable for you, or you'd like something different with more of an external rotation, taking figure four chair. Okay, so lots of options, just taking a balance that works for you. Okay. Sweep the arms out to T shape. And since the left leg's on top, we'll bring the right arm underneath to cross. You can give yourself a hug. You can bring the backs of the palms together. You can bring the palms and kind of wrap that little snake wrap there. And often we're cued to drop the shoulders away from the ears, and that's a good thing, but we don't want to be jamming them down. So just kind of a softening of the shoulders. Woo-hoo. Your balance, let yourself sway. And when you're ready, release the arms, come into chair pose, reach the arms up and overhead. And then again, that cactus shape with the arms. So feeling that work in the legs. As you inhale, tilt the chest, engage or broaden the shoulders across the back. And as you exhale, navel draws towards the spine. Here for a couple of breaths. Press into tall mountain pose, reach up. And then hands to heart center as you soften the knees, shift your weight into your left foot. And then take your variation of eagle pose, okay? Or that figure four chair. And it can be different on each side. We don't need to be symmetrical. And then once you've found some steadiness in your balance, or not, we can wobble, that's cool. Reach the arms out to a T, and this time the right arm comes underneath. Is that right? The left arm comes underneath. Do the opposite of what you did before. I'm getting twisted up. And again, soften the shoulders down rather than jamming them. Feel a softness there. And steady your breath. When you're ready, release your arms, place your foot to the floor. Stand on up, reach up. Nice. Hands through heart center. Let's forward fold and release. So feel free to shake it out. Rock your head from side to side. Lift halfway here. Lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, release your head and neck. Inhale, rise to stand, touch the sky. And hands to heart center here. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring the arms to a cactus shape, palms face forward. Inhale, press into the feet, push the hips forward a bit, lift the heart. Exhale, round the upper back, bring the elbows and the palms together in front of you. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead or reach them up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release your head and neck. Inhale, rise to stand, scapular plane. Exhale, widen the elbows, palms face forward. Inhale, press into the feet, push the hips forward, tilt the heart up. Exhale, round the upper back, bring the elbows, forearms, hands together in front of you. Inhale, reach the arms towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Lift, halfway lengthen, and we'll make our way back onto our shins, onto our knees, and sit in hero pose, Fadrasana. So we've been here before, and you can take what we did in the beginning with the hands, and we'll all do this together. Then we'll offer some options with the fingertips behind you. If the arms are a little bit shorter, feel free to take blocks or books behind you, okay, to give yourself a little more length here. And as you inhale, press into the fingertips, squeeze the elbows together and lift your heart. Not letting the head dump back. So we do want a little bit of engagement in the throat. And this time we'll remain in the posture. So in the beginning of practice, when we were warming up, we kind of moved in and out of it. This time we'll stay for a few breaths. Nice. And then release. Hands to the thighs. Take a moment here. Inhale and exhale. So these types of back bends are great for springtime as they are energizing, opening, all of those energy channels kind of stimulating. And then bring your hands behind you again if you'd like to take that option, or stand up on the shins and bring the hands just below the glutes to the backs of the thighs. As you inhale, press the knees down, lift the heart, squeeze the bottom of the glutes just enough into this variation of camel pose. And then tuck your chin, sit back on the heels if you were not already. Palms face down in the lap, close the eyes, deep breath in, full breath out. So we'll take this posture one more time, about 3 to 5 breaths. Hands to your blocks. You can lift the hips with the hands on the blocks if that's good for you. Or again, take that option on the shins. Press into the tops of the feet as you lift the heart here. Some folks like to have their hands on their hips or to their low back, but we just want to be careful that we're not thrusting the hips forward and jamming into the low back. So if you prefer that hand option, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not pushing into and scrunching or crunching into the low back, I should say. And then release, tuck the chin, sit back. Palms can face up or down this time. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. We might feel the heart beating a little bit more quickly. It's totally normal with these back bends. So start to regulate your breathing again. Nice. And then we'll come to sit on the right hip. So shifting the hips to one side, and this might be where you want to sit on a cushion underneath that right hip. And the lower legs come off to the left. Fadrasana, always hard for me to say. As you inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, again in that scapular plane, a little bit more control. Exhale, twist towards your right, widen the arms, and then let the fingertips tap down. One hand outside of the knee, one hand behind you to the floor or a block, or to scratch your puppy's head if you have a four-legged around you that needs a little scratch. There is an option for a bind here. If your shoulders allow it, you can bring that right hand behind you, behind the low back, and reach for the left hip or the left thigh there. And then unwind from the head down through the shoulders and the belly, and we'll switch sides. So shift onto your left hip here, swing the legs the other way. You can always sit cross-legged. That's an option as well. And then we'll reach the arms up and overhead, twist to your left, and then release the arms down. This right hip will come up a little bit. Just try to let it soften. And just as it is when we move off of our mats, on our mats, we can feel that support behind the heart. There are structures supporting us so that we can feel a little bit more open and spacious as we move out into the world. Again, that bind is available to you if you sweep that left arm behind you, reach for the outer right hip or shirt, whatever you can grab there. And we'll turn our heads forward, release the shoulders, and release the belly forward. Let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. We'll bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, or Baddha Konasana, I should say. And hands where they're supportive. So sitting up nice and tall, you're already in a forward fold. You've already brought the chest closer to the thighs than normal. So this is a forward fold if you'd like to stay here. If you'd like to lean forward a bit more, feel free to do so. And once you feel like the low back is nice and long, then feel free to round the upper back and release your head and neck, but it's not required. Okay, so find the posture that allows you to breathe and start to let go of tension, gripping around the inner thighs, the belly, letting go. Really rounding in the shoulders if you're folded forward towards the floor a bit more. And we'll come back upright if you weren't there already. Use your hands outside the knees to draw the knees together. Let the knees sway from side to side. We'll come off of our prop if you had one and shift the hips towards the center of your mat. Have your props around you as we move towards the floor and towards Shavasana eventually. And then when you have those accoutrements around you, sit up nice and tall, hands behind the thighs. Inhale, lift the heart, again, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you. Exhale, start to round the low back, rolling off of the tailbone onto the low back. And then inhale, use your hands to help you back up and feel that broadness across the chest again. So exhale, just half spinal rolls here. And then inhale, feel that heart lift. Exhale to round. And inhale to lift. Keep going here a couple more times. Rounding, you can let the elbows come wide here. And then when you're ready, we'll roll all the way down to the floor. So use your hands behind your thighs or not, or use them on the floor to bring you all the way down. Great. We'll revisit that twist we did earlier. So shift the hips to the left, let the knees go to the right. And reach the arms out a comfortable distance. They can be wide, they can be up overhead if that's comfortable. At this point, I feel more comfortable with my arms down low. Starts to bring the energy down a bit. And let the belly be soft as you inhale, low back soft as you exhale. Coming back to center, bring the knees back up, shift the hips to the center and then over to the right. And then bring the knees up and over to the left. Let your right shoulder be heavy. Notice those areas where you naturally grip, where you find that it's normal for you to grip in this pose. It may be in the hip flexors or in the belly or in the jaw. And with your breath out, start to soften those areas a bit more. We'll come back to center, hips back to center. If you'd like to take that supported fish pose, grab your blanket and place it underneath the shoulder blades again. If you'd like to take a fish pose using just the arms down by your sides, legs out long, and press into the elbows to lift the chest and rest the top of the head on the floor on a block. So it may take a little bit of adjustment here. Take your time, there's no rush. And once you get into your posture, if you're laying over the blanket, just let the muscles melt. So let everything soften. If you're using your elbows for support, really press into the hands and the elbows, press into the legs, and let your head rest lightly on something. And when you're ready, release, tuck your chin. If you were using a prop, go ahead and roll to one side and release that prop. And just take a moment as we lay down, just for a moment, just to feel the effects of that pose. Deep breath in, maybe a sigh. We'll make our way towards our final relaxation. Okay, so I'm going to roll to one side and come up, but you stay laying down and make yourself comfortable. And that comfortable actually may be laying on your side, like we did at the beginning of practice. So feel free to lay on the back or on the side or even in crocodile pose if that feels best for you today. So begin to gather your props around you for support and for warmth. You want to keep that warmth in that you've cultivated in the body. So make sure your feet are warm, your fingertips warm, the body warm. And begin to allow the body to settle into your practice space, into the floor, even into the earth. Allow the legs to be a comfortable distance apart. Let the feet soften. Let the arms be a comfortable distance away from the body. Palms face up. And make any final wiggles or fidgets that you need so that you won't need to move for the next few moments or so. And from here, begin to tune into your breath. You'll notice over time that maybe the chest becomes more quiet without extra effort. And the belly becomes more soft. So allow the belly to rise and fall with your breath. And now with every exhale, feel the back body from the heels all the way through the back of the head sink and melt a little bit more into the floor, the earth. So exhaling, the body gets a little more grounded. And as the body becomes more grounded and supported by your breath and by the earth, with each inhale, feel the body revitalizing, recharging. As we exhale, we let go. As we inhale, we feel the body being recharged for our day. And now release your breath practice. Just let your breath be as it is. And just as in our active practice, where we cultivated that support and space around the heart, here, allow yourself to be supported for the next 1 minute. Allow yourself to feel spacious, knowing that you are fully supported. 1 minute here. And of course, you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. I highly recommend 8 to 10 minutes here to really let the body rest. And when it's time to move on, we start to allow the breath to deepen. Again, the belly is soft. We move that energy to fingers and toes and the top of the head, and we start to make some small movements. And as you reawaken, come back slowly, maybe take a big stretch, reach the arms overhead, stretch through one side and then the other. And gently roll to one side. Allow your head to rest on something, your arm, a blanket, a cushion. And feel your entire body supported. Gently make your way to a nice tall seat. As you feel the seat, the legs settle, feel that gentle rise through the spine and up through the heart space, through the top of your head. And soften the shoulders. Next time you inhale, sweep the arms wide and up overhead. Again, one final scapular plane movement here. Hands to heart center. Lift the heart into the thumbs. We offer gratitude for our practice today and our practice together. And today, as we move forward, may we know we are supported by the earth, by our body, by our breath, by those things bigger, those beings bigger than us, and by each other. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.